to ask him about what he thought about that little part right there. Because if you look closely, they're all basically the same. And I've never seen an electrode like that before. So I just wanted to make sure what it was. And the mechanic said it's just basically wear and tear. So clean the. Here I go restating. That's another thing people on YouTube do that drive me nuts. So I'm not going to do it. You know what I'm doing. I'll cut you back in when I'm done. I'm cleaning the coils. This is the coil. Cleaning the coil. I don't know if you can see that in there. I'm cleaning that with this stuff. Now the guys at AutoZone says this is what I need to clean it with, so I'm hoping they're right, because if not, I'm going to be replacing 8 coils. The directions just say to spray it. I don't know if you can see that in there. The directions say to spray it and leave it and let it basically dry out and evaporate, but I'm using Q-tips. I'm spraying it in there using Q-tips, trying to get it clean. So that looks pretty clean. But here's what's in there. A spring. Now, let's see if I can get it looking through here. This part, the wide part, goes to the bottom, and this top part comes out. So I was cleaning it out with my Q-tip, and I pulled it out. And I don't know if I can get it back in. So I'll cut you back in if I figure this problem out. Okay, well, the good news is I got it back in there. I was looking in the other coils, and there's not one damn spring in there that's in there straight. So I'm hoping if they continue to come out, and just push them back in with some needle nose pliers or a screwdriver. That's what I used. Tried the needle nose pliers, but they were too big. I mean, they fit in there, but then I couldn't open it up to get them off there. So I put this little tiny kind of screwdriver in the top of the spring and pushed it in, try to get it in there as straight as I could. Hopefully that'll be okay. Continuing on. I definitely don't like this landscape look. So a couple hours later, I'm almost done getting the pan off. I'll go over some of the things as soon as we get done, but I had to run to the auto parts store because guess what I lost? I lost my 10mm deep socket. So I had to go to AutoZone and get one. There's one more, what do I say, screw, bolt, something in the pan that you need a 10mm deep socket for, and with a, I don't have a 1/2-inch drive for one. I do have a 1/4-inch drive for one, but I really rather use my 3/8. So I had to go to the store and get a 3/8 deep socket. Anyway, what we'll do is I'll take that off. Hopefully I'll get the pan off by then. Then we'll take a look and see if we've got any movement with the rods. And then I think we'll be done for the day. I just got the pan out. Once I got that last bolt out, it was like a stud. It wasn't really a bolt. It was about that long. It looked like it held some wires or something, but that pan pulled right off. Let me show you what I saw in it. Here it is. I don't know if you can see it with the glare and stuff, but it looks milky to me, which isn't good, but I'm hoping the block's not cracked. If it is, we'll just get a new. I expected some troubles, but I'm not dissuaded, whatever the word is, discouraged. I'm not discouraged anyway, but somebody's been into this pan before. I'm going to take you under the Jeep and I'm going to show you what I see. But it's really, sorry, I can't come out very far because I'm right under the Jeep, but there's that splash guard. It's brand new to me. So does that sump pump thing. Looks like somebody's been into this before and looked at it and said, oh, well, We can't fix it, but I'm gonna fix it. Anyway, we're gonna pull that off. We're gonna pull that sump out and go from there. All right, it's out. Look at that. That looks brand freaking new. I mean, there's nothing. It looks brand new. This is the inside. This looks when you take the pan off, that's what it looks like. And the connection for the pump comes right there. Looks like somebody's been in there. It doesn't matter. The only thing I could find here is this seal is broke, and I don't think I broke it, but I'm gonna check and see if this pump is clogged. I don't think it is. Anyway, looks like now we're taking the valve covers off and seeing if there's something under there, and then probably the heads, because this stuff is milky, and that means there's water in the oil. So that even means a cracked head, cracked block, cracked head gasket. So I'm sure the heads are gonna have to come off. But before we end for the day, let me give you some thoughts on this. You know, it was bad. You really have to enjoy doing this. And you know what? I think it's fun. It's a pain in the ass, but I think it's fun. But I will tell you a few things. Number one, get one of these. I picked this up today from Harbor Freight Tools. It's a creeper. It's up to 300 pounds, which I weigh more than that, but I'm hoping that my torso is only 300 pounds. Anyway, that was invaluable. That was really handy. So if you're gonna do this, definitely get one of those. Also, I was surprised to find out that the easiest part to do was taking the exhaust pipes off the exhaust manifold. It was easy. The other stuff was really hard. So if this is something you want to do, get yourself an assortment of 3/8 and 1/2 inch extensions, swivels, sockets, and deep sockets. I used, let's start, 10, 12, 13, and 15 millimeter sockets. I think that's all I used. I'm not 100% sure, but have those if you're going to do this under the vehicle, definitely have those. Have a creeper, jack your car up on jacks. And let me give you the thoughts on my impact wrench. Before I forget again, I want to let you know, after I got the pan off and that shield, I moved around the rods and none of them were moving. There were a couple that moved 1/1000th of an inch. You couldn't even see it, but I could feel it, that it moved. It moved a really, really small, just almost a measurable amount, but the other ones were solid. So I don't think there's any spun bearings. Hopefully, as we go through this, it'll be kind of an easy fix. I mean, easy, not easy, but something that I can do, and I'm not a mechanic. Anyway, let me give you some thoughts on my impact wrench. All right, here it is. This, I didn't use this. This I didn't use at all. This I used a lot. And if you're gonna do this, definitely get one of these. Not this one. This one, it worked well, but it's so freaking heavy, and it's really hard to maneuver. And that's not even the worst part. Let me take this adapter off and I'll show you. All right. I don't even know if I can show you holding this, but when you're under a vehicle and you're trying to change bits, you can't put this on. It's very, very difficult. There. I mean, do you want to really do that when you're under a vehicle? Trying to change out attachments on that fucking effing thing? Anyway, even if you buy the cheapest one of these that you can find, if it gets you through this job, it's worth it. You need it. It was awesome for this. But don't buy this one. Well, I don't know, buy it. I mean, it'll work good. It's just, this is the only part I don't like. This sucks. This is really shitty. But other than that, man, it worked great. And I'm glad I had it. I'd still be under. The next phase, I suppose, I'm not going to put the pan on yet. The next phase is going to be pulling the valve covers off, and then probably the heads. Remember, if you need detail on how to do this kind of thing, go to TRQ. Is it TRQ or TQR? Torque. TQR, I think. And just, there were a million videos in there. You're going to have to go through them and look, but it's very specific. It's changing the oil pan gasket on a 1999 to 2004 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4.7. And what else? I had something else I wanted to mention, but I can't think of anything right now. Thank you all for tuning in. If I work on this tomorrow, we'll bring you back. Anyway, we'll bring you back to do the valve covers and probably the heads. Stay tuned. Welcome back to my hobby prison. It's another day at the Jeep, but I don't think I'm going to do much on the Jeep today. I got to lower it off the jack stand so I can get it to work on, but I don't think I'm really going to do a lot with it. Maybe, I might take the air cleaner and the intake system off it, except for the throttle body and the exhaust. Maybe move some wires around. Logically, the next step is take the valve covers off. I'm 99.9% sure I'm going to have to take those head gaskets off. Or the heads off. If you remember, we took the oil pan off yesterday, and the splash guard was, well, it's brand new. It's brand new. And that makes me a little bit concerned that that block might be cracked. If the guy took it to a couple of mechanics and they said the engine was blown, and then he decided not to fix it, he was going to just replace the motor. I'm wondering if they did some kind of test that I can't do, that they cracked the block. So valves are coming off, probably the heads. I'll check the head gaskets to see if I can tell if they're blown or not, and if they are, that would explain why why there was antifreeze in the oil. And there's a couple of things you can do once the head gaskets are off to see if the pistons are sealed okay. I'm wondering if they did a leak down test, and it doesn't matter. Valve covers, probably the heads, check the head gaskets. That's the next logical step. But I don't know how far I'll get on today. I don't feel like working on it. I just don't really want to. Yesterday, taking that oil pan off kicked my ass. So we'll do some stuff on it today. I did stop at Harbor Freight Tools again today. That impact wrench that I was using yesterday, it's just too heavy. And so they have that 15% off coupon. So I went and picked up a couple things today. I picked up the smaller impact wrench. It's still a 1/2 inch drive, but it's smaller. It's a lot lighter. I mean, it's a lot lighter. But I think it'll work okay. It's the tool only. It came with a brushless driver, this weird little thing for your belt that I'm definitely not using, and the owner's manual. I also picked up what I didn't think I'd really buy, but these shop racks. It's a 50-pack. They were like 13 bucks. And I think I'm just going to end up using a lot, especially if I have to pull that motor. And then finally I bought this kit. It's to take the fuel rail off. And it could be good, it could be bad. I'm not really sure. But I don't have anything to do that with, so I thought I'd pick that up. The prices, let's show you what I spent. The shop towels are $12.99. The fuel line disconnect was $3.99. That right there is not what it was. It was $49.99. It took off 15%. So I got a really good deal on that. And if you're Inside Track Club member, you can get that 15% off until the end of this week, Sunday. And then they've got a spring Black Friday sale coming on. I don't think I need anything from those guys, but this is that's $70 off. This is a nice deal. Take this, and then it comes with a top toolbox. I'd really like to get that. I picked up this Yukon about 3 years ago from Harbor Freight Tools, and I like it. I wish I had the one with the drawers instead of the cabinets, but it's okay. It's a really good work surface too. I've used it quite a bit. And then I've got the 5-drawer tool cabinet, and then I attached this other, I don't remember what it's called, but I attached that to this. And it's on rollers. And this shelf has been coming in really, really handy. So I really need another toolbox, but these 3 toolboxes, they're not big enough. I'm getting more and more tools as time goes on. What I really need though is a better air compressor. This is what I've got right now. If you need an air compressor that's, I don't know, it's not as loud as my other older air compressor is, but it's not quiet. And it's constantly refilling, and it takes, if this thing gets down to 0 air pressure, like after you drain it, it's 15-20 minutes for it to fill up. It's ridiculous. So I want to replace it. Last summer I had my friend who's an electrician come up. He wired my garage. We've got 2 outlets for 220, and I'd really like to get me a 5 horsepower 60-gallon air compressor. That would do it for me, because with my hydrographing, I use the air gun all the time, the paint sprayer, and really like to get a new air compressor. What I'd really like to get is a 5 horsepower 60-gallon. My friend came up last summer, he's an electrician, and he wired in two 220 outlets for me. So a bigger air compressor would really help me out. I use my HVLP spray guns all the time for my hydrographing, and I'd like to get some air tools, but that little air compressor that I've got just won't run air tools. So toolbox, that's a hell of a deal, and I could probably put that together, but what I really need is an air compressor. Finally, I had the Temu come today. Don't get involved in that. It'll suck you in, and you'll end up buying shit you don't need. But anyway, I picked up some, I was debating on whether to include this because I don't remember what I paid for this stuff, but I picked up some mechanics work gloves. And I don't know if they're genuine Mechanics Works gloves, but I tried them on and they fit nice. We're going to break them in a little bit today while we're doing some of our mechanicking. And then finally, I put together a list for you guys of the people that are helping me. This TRQ, it's extremely good production. They take you step by step through pretty much everything. The only thing I couldn't find that I need was the head removal. This guy works out of his garage. He knows a lot of stuff, and he's not a professional mechanic, but he's got these Jeep Cherokees and he knows a lot of stuff. This guy is a professional mechanic. He has a step-by-step process of removing the cylinder heads. And then this guy works on his Jeep Cherokee out of his Grand Cherokee, out of his garage. And he knows a lot of stuff too. The main reason why I don't really film what I'm doing is because, number one, I don't have a tripod and my kids are in school. And besides that, I'm stupid and I do a lot of wrong things. These fellas that I wrote down on that piece of paper, they'll really help you out. They tell you the size of the sockets and the extensions and all kinds of things. So check those guys out. I'm going to start letting that Jeep down off the jacks, pop the hood up, probably take the air cleaner and stuff off. If I run into anything cool or have a problem, I'll bring you back in. But other than that, I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. If you stuck around at the end of my video, I wanted to say thank you for sticking with me and watching that. This is the first time that I've edited this video. My daughter's done all the ones before. She's come up with the intro and the outro. She's come up with the music. She's come up with the sound effects. She's come up with everything. And, you know, she's busy with school and other things, and I can't keep asking her to continue to edit my videos. So I tried it, and I know it's a little messed up. So I appreciate it that you stuck around to the end. They will get better. I'm a quick learner. No, I'm not a quick learner. I'm an idiot. But I can learn if I practice long enough. So the videos will get better. Thank you for sticking around. Thanks for joining me on My Hobby Prison. I'll see you next time.